The following Seminole Productions presentation was made possible by a grant from the Macintosh Foundation. Alaska, America's last frontier. If it were divided in half, Texas would become the third largest state. As remote to most Americans as Siberia, this vast and wild land is rivaled only by the stories told about it. But perhaps nowhere in the 49th state are these stories more wondrous and mysterious than in the southeastern portion. Comprised of the Alexander Archipelago, some 1,000 plus islands, and a mainland separated from interior northern Canada by the highest coastal mountain range in the world, Southeast Alaska is a land unto itself. A rugged strip of seaboard that emerged from the last great ice age, some 10,000 years ago, as a glacially sculptured landscape. What was once covered by masses of ice has evolved into a fertile and spectacular blend of mountains, forest, and water, spanning more than 17 million acres. Of that, more than 90% is managed by the United States Forest Service as the Tongass National Forest, roughly the size of Maine or West Virginia, and easily the largest of the 155 national forests. Due to its unique geographical circumstances, the Tongass is an ecological wonder seldom found far beyond the equator. The massive front of the coastal mountains acts as a barrier to incoming weather from the Pacific, and storms spin themselves when they hit, dumping enormous amounts of water on the lower elevations and leaving the peaks perpetually clad in snow. The excessive precipitation creates an unparalleled land of diverse wildlife and vegetation. Mysterious primeval forests blanket the fog-enshrouded mountains and watersheds. Western hemlock with trunk diameters of 15 feet and 1,000-year-old Sitka spruce stretching 250 feet high share these forests with red and yellow cedar, alder, and an endless variety of understory growth. Old trees that die and fall open windows to the sky that are filled by the most vigorous younger trees. Lichens and moss grow everywhere in the forest floor, as well as in the canopy. The decaying trunks of trees that have fallen become nurse logs, simultaneously decomposing into soil and serving as seed beds for new growth. Biologists refer to this as an old growth forest, or a forest of uneven age. The Tongass is home to the world's greatest populations of bald eagles and grizzly bears. Marine mammals flourish in the waters of Southeast Alaska. Seals, sea lions, porpoise, orca, and the mighty humpback whale are the most prevalent. In all, an astounding 83 species of mammals and 303 species of birds make Southeast their home. Near the base of the food chain are 5 species of salmon: king, coho, pink, sockeye, and chum. The incredible abundance of these fish provide a vital food source for the resident wildlife. The Tongass National Forest is the largest example of the rare temperate rainforest that once extended undisturbed from Northern California to Alaska. Now the final fully intact portion of the once magnificent North American coastal forest land is in danger. It is being clear-cut at an alarming rate. Since 1950, over one-half of the very best stands of large ancient Sitka spruce and western hemlock has been logged. In 1951, a young man by the name of Michael McIntosh took summer work with the fishery his family owned. Working in the waters of the Southeast, he developed a deep love for the country. This love, compounded with an environmental ethic that ran in his family, made him determined to see it preserved. In 1971, he took over the family foundation, setting it on a destined course of environmental protection. Upon searching for a primary focus and direction, the natural choice for Michael was Southeast Alaska.
The reason for Southeast Alaska, aside from the fact that I love it, is that it is an ecological unit unto itself.
Michael's wife, Winsome McIntosh, plays an active role in the foundation as a trustee.
Love the ethic and the beauty and the grandeur of the place, and didn't really go back for over 20 years, you know, as his adult life developed. And then when we got back into environmental issues and working with the foundation, he just felt that he could make her. That meant buying a boat. That meant setting up the boat company, which to manage it. It is a program of the foundation, a not-for-profit program.
We were trying to educate people on the importance of trying to preserve what is the North American continent's only temperate rainforest. Because there are so many pulls and tugs on the resources in this area, we decided that the only way to do it was to get a boat.
This is the Observer. Launched by the United States Navy in 1941 as a coastal minesweeper, the vessel is built very heavily of spruce, fir, and oak to standards which would be difficult to duplicate today. Having undergone extensive refitting and modification, the Observer is now solely engaged in bareboat chartering for educational pleasure trips in the Southeast Alaskan wilderness. There is simply no better way to experience the spectacle and grandeur of Southeast. A journey aboard the Observer is something you will take with you the rest of your life. Now join us as we take you on a voyage of the Observer. The journey begins in Sitka, a city of more than 8,000 located at the foot of Harbor Mountain on Baranof Island. With time to explore before boarding the Observer, one can experience the rich native and Russian heritage of this town, evident in such landmarks as St. Michael's Cathedral and Sitka National Historic Park. Guests are driven to the marina, where the Observer is anchored, then taken by skiff out to the vessel. Upon boarding, the anchor is pulled and the voyage is underway. En route, guests are given an orientation by the captain. After discussing everyone's interest, a flexible itinerary is made, allowing the guests to pursue whatever whim they may have, whether hiking, fishing, canoeing, or any of a variety of activities available. Traversing Sitka Sound, the Observer passes under the shadow of Mount Edgecumbe, a long-extinct volcano. Straight across is St. Lazaria Island National Wildlife Refuge, giving the journeying observers their first taste of raw, unspoiled wilderness. Crystal aquamarine waters surge against the cliff face of this magnificent rock, jutting up from the open North Pacific. capped by an ancient forest and riddled with shallow caverns, St. Lazaria is home to the brilliantly colored puffin and a heavenly hunting ground for the sea otter.
I've never seen Southeast Alaska and jumped at the chance to do it because it is just incredible scenery, and looking forward to every day and all the different little nooks and crannies that we get to explore.
And I'm looking forward to catching a king salmon about 100 pounds, maybe a new record, and lots of other things. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
The observer navigates the Surges Narrows, then passes an area known as Poison Cove, where an entire Tlingit tribe was once wiped out from eating poisoned shellfish. After winding the corner of Baranof Island, the boat proceeds down the more familiar Peril Strait. Whether canoeing in early evening or taking out a skiff for photography, Sauk Bay off of Peril Strait provides a variety of activities. A hike back to the stream is rewarded with a guaranteed catch. The rushing waters teem with spawning salmon. The fish struggle upstream to their place of birth to mate and die. Their carcasses litter the banks, providing a virtual feast for the creatures of the Tongass.
You can walk right on up the beach there. Back up on the beach. Different kind of thing. Well, it's the male. Pretty far along. He gave you quite a fight, huh?
Yeah.
Spawning salmon can be eaten if smoked. However, the Dolly Varden and native trout can always provide fresh meat for the dinner table. And after a long, hard day of canoeing, hiking, and fishing, nothing is more eagerly anticipated than a hearty dinner. Dinners aboard the Observer have become the stuff of legend. The cooks are happy to prepare what you catch and incorporate it into the evening menu. Morning in Sauk Bay. The Dungeness crab traps are pulled up and lunch is provided. Others elect to take the skiff out to Peril Strait for salmon fishing. At some point in the summer, all of the native species of salmon are running in the open water. One of the most popular sites on an observer voyage is Baranof Warm Springs Bay. With its cottages and large old general store perched on the hillside surrounding the bay, this community in the middle of no man's land definitely seems an oddity. Steve Riemann, wildlife biologist and first mate, gives the guest an orientation.
Rob works in the general store. He'll be glad to sit around and talk with anybody. He doesn't see people very often up there.
General store right there.
Right. And these 4 cabins here, they're just starting to build those. That's going to be part of this store and hot tub operation.
This area, as most in Southeast, is accessible only by boat or seaplane. The general store carries bait, tackle, food, drinks, and souvenirs. One of the favorite trails here is a short hike up to Baranof Lake, the source of the falls that feeds the bay. Hiking through snow remnants in early June may seem bizarre to some of us in the lower 48, but in Alaska, snow remains in the higher elevations throughout the summer. Certainly, the most popular attraction of Baranof Warm Springs is the warm springs themselves. Located in the building behind the store are several large tubs into which flows steaming, soothing mineral water piped up from an underground hot spring. The waters, reputed to have healing properties, leave you in a state of utter relaxation. In the morning, fishing at the mouth of the bay is in order. Whether any fish are caught or not, there's something about an Alaskan sunrise worth waking up to. There's nothing like coming in from a chilly morning on the water to a warm, hearty breakfast. The interesting thing about breakfast on the Observer is that there are no two alike. Fluffy pancakes one morning, thick omelets the next, always something different. The dining room on the stern of the boat is kept snug and warm by 2 overhead heaters and a clear plastic button-down enclosure. Baranof Island sports some of the more beautiful falls in Southeast. The crushing waters of Baranof Falls convey their tremendous power. But for sheer spectacle, the monumental falls of Red Bluff Bay take the prize. The Observer can get so close, you can reach out and touch the falls.
I think this has been one of the most marvelous experiences my husband and I have ever had. I never dreamt I would come and walk through this beautiful virgin timber woodland. I was so impressed with the way the sphagnum moss forms a carpet. It's sort of a spongy carpet all along the forest, and then the little bunch berries and give that lovely contrast of red berries against the green leaves, against the moss, and then these beautiful old trees, some of them fallen. It's a sight I shall never forget.
Whether a cloudy day or a sunny one, Deep Cove is as enchanting a sight as you will see on an Observer voyage. The old-growth forests of Deep Cove are among the most beautiful in all of Alaska. Hiking through the area, one is awed by these towering, gigantic trees that have stood since the Middle Ages. In their mystical presence, it's easy to become a child again. The broad canopy of these trees intercepts snow in the winter, making travel easier and food more available for the Sitka black-tailed deer. The uneven-aged quality of the stand allows for penetration of sunlight and therefore greater undergrowth for food as opposed to a second-growth, even-aged stand. If you'd rather fish, well, the Deep Cove area offers the best of halibut fishing. These Pacific flatfish grow to monster sizes, such as this 130-pound beast hooked by a 7-year-old right off the deck of the Observer. No matter how many you catch, the crew will clean. You can take the meat home or have the cook serve it up in a special recipe. The longest of runs is the backtrack up Chatham Strait and up into Frederick Sound. Marine mammals thrive in the Sound, and this voyage was no exception. Dull porpoises love to race with the vessels that cruise through the Sound. Seeing the mighty orca swimming free in the wild is nothing less than awe-inspiring. As a family of 3 swims toward the observer, one realizes these incredible creatures capable of killing and eating anything that swims in the ocean are in reality gentle and responsive animals. The long journey through Frederick Sound provides a break in the action. Guests are free to pursue more leisurely endeavors. The comfortable salon area is perfect for relaxation. The room has a library of magazines and books on Alaska and its wildlife. You can enjoy a show from the video library or listen to music on the entertainment system while relaxing with a drink from the bar. One of the favorite activities is to visit with the captain in the wheelhouse or just hang out on the bow, hoping to spot a gigantic fluke or whale spout in the distance. And if the excitement has been a bit much, there's nothing like a nap on the Observer. The serenity of the country coupled with the comfortable staterooms and the gentle rocking motion of the boat lets you sleep like a baby. These waters, often referred to as the Inside Passage, are protected from high seas by the chain of buffer islands facing the open ocean. As afternoon presses on, the cooks work to get dinner ready.
I just try to make a lot of variety, you know, provide good, well-balanced meals and things that are nutritionally complete for everyone, but also make it so that they're eating something new every day. You know, it's no fun to repeat stuff all the time, you know, so one day you'll have rice, the next day you'll have potatoes, something like that, as far as the starches go, and the meats and fishes are always different.
From Friday Harbor, we came up here, and for 4 days or 5 days we sailed and saw mountains and woods and water and seals and eagles, and for days. You know, I don't think I've seen that unending wilderness before, and I've been in the desert in the Middle East, and it still wasn't as expansive as the nature out here.
The Observer has a cellar of wines specially imported from France. 2 varieties are selected with dinner every night.
But the food is just outstanding. Aria, who is doing all the cooking, is phenomenal in what she's able to conjure up every day. And you look, on the one hand, you look forward to it, and the other hand is like, oh my God, it's time to eat again. And you don't want to miss a meal because there's always something new and intriguing with each one, like the fresh fish that Ogden caught. And
there's so many things about it. The fact that it provides us with a mobile platform to explore the Southeast, the opportunities to get off and go ashore or get close-up shots of some of the natural beauty, and not to mention the treatment we've received by the crew and the food, and it's just an excellent opportunity.
In Frederick Sound, just off Admiralty Island, guests of the Observer experience something that will change them forever. Peg Brandon, the captain, rings the salon, calling everyone to the bridge. She has spotted a large pod of humpback whales.
Yeah, ooh, 3 of them right there. Tails, head, tails, 2. Oh, yeah. Another spout, tails, 3.
Steve takes some guests out in the skiff to get a closer look. The group has counted 8 whales. An amazing thing happens. The eerie yet beautiful siren calls of the humpbacks permeate the air. To hear them in this manner is highly unusual. This is rare footage of a phenomenon known as bubble net feeding. The humpbacks locate a school of fish or plankton, then swim in a slow spiral motion beneath the school, exhaling as they rise. In this way, the whales build a net or screen of bubbles around their prey. The school perceives the bubble net as a solid obstacle and tightens rank. The humpbacks then swim up the bubble columns with their mouths gaping open, filtering thousands of cubic meters of water through their baleen plates and capturing bushels of prey in their mouths.
You like to get out and hike and get out and fish and experience the outdoors and not be like a lot of the other organizations are up here who do trips in Alaska, whereas we don't go from city to city. We try and avoid cities and go to places where we can have peace and quiet and get away from people and experience the outdoors more than the souvenir shops in the cities themselves. So if you're into getting out and being on your own and being in private anchorages every night and just having a few other people around you for 10 or 12 days, then you'd like a trip on the Observer.
The Tlinkits say that whenever something happens in the forest, the bear smells it, the deer hears it, and the eagle sees it. One cannot fully appreciate the sheer size and majesty of the Tongass without seeing it from the eyes of an eagle. The boat anchors for the last night in Sumner Strait. The blue Alaskan sunset seems to echo the hearts and minds of those who find it hard to leave. The arrival at Wrangell brings an end to the voyage. The guests are taxied to the airport, where an Alaskan Airlines jet waits to take them home. Leaving Wrangell, one looks back at the Tongass in all its wild majesty and wonders, will they ever see it again like it is now?